Welcome back, everybody. Some of you were with me on my track, on track A, all the things, HR Revolution, all the things you should start doing. Some of you, I'm sure you're back with me now, and you've learned all about the things that you should stop doing. I don't know the things you should stop doing, but I'm intrigued to find out, certainly, and I'll be able to find out, as everybody else will. Remember every single word, every session today and throughout the week. You'll be able to get this good news, you'll be able to get this on demand eventually when that's available. And you can, I think that'll be available for about a month. So you can just really kick back, relax any time of the day, the evening, the night. If you're a night owl, you can watch and absorb all that content whenever you want. Remote working on a beach somewhere, we don't care as long as you get the value out of this week. Whenever you do that, it's entirely up to you. Right, let's move on. So, equality, diversity, and inclusion. 3 words. We hear them constantly. We respect those words. We know that this is what we should be doing. We are striving to get closer to these 3 words constantly, and that's all good. But naturally, it's also a great, good idea for your business as well. IKEA, they're doing it, they're thinking of these words. They have a kind of formula for this. Intrigued to find out what I am, as you are as well. Let's hear directly from IKEA, from the head of HR from the SEE region, Otto van Daal. Otto, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Peter. Thank you very much for the introduction. Thank you.
Hello, where are you, Otto? I'm assuming you're in Amsterdam. But
Oh, no. I'm based in Belgrade, actually. So
are you in Belgrade? You're down the
I'm in Belgrade. I could have
so
popped
close,
over.
Yet so far. I could probably see you out the window, maybe. Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right. How you doing? Right.
Hi, Peter.
Otto, I'll leave it up to you now to tell us more about why equality, diversity, and inclusion not only good for your business, but also not only the right thing to do, but a really good thing for your business, for my business, and everybody who's watching their business as well. At the end, if we have questions, I'll come back in and we can have a short conversation on that.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Peter. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening in. My name is Otto van Daal. I'm the Country People and Culture Manager in IKEA Southeast Europe, and I have put up a couple of expressions here on this slide. We say "hey" within IKEA, which is Swedish for hello, dobberdan. So yeah, I've been with IKEA for many years. Originally, like I said, from the Netherlands. But have been living abroad for quite some years now, and had many opportunities within IKEA to grow and develop, and very honored to be here today and to talk about what we think is one of the key pillars of the IKEA concept. So yeah, let's have do a little bit of a bit of a deep dive on what does IKEA SEE means. We look after 5 markets here. A very diverse market, a very important market for us, a fast-growing market. We look after Romania, Croatia, Serbia, Ukraine, and Slovenia. Very diverse, but also when it comes to the topic of equality, diversity, and inclusion, not an easy market. I am originally, like I said, from the Netherlands. That's quite a privileged country when it comes to this, where we allow people to be themselves. Not always as far as we would like them to be, but we're clearly a little bit further developed there when it comes to certain topics on this agenda than we have in this region. IKEA is a home furnishing company. I'm sure you have heard of us. I hope you have shopped with us. But I cannot talk about ED&I without bringing up this man. This is Ingvar Kamprad. Ingvar Kamprad is the founder of IKEA. IKEA stands for Ingvar Kamprad. That is the I and the K. Elmtarit, Agunarit, and that is the region and the neighborhood where he was born in Småland in the heart of Sweden. Over 80 years old company. Had the privilege to meet Ingvar several times and to work a little bit with him, and quite a visionary, quite somebody who has disrupted the home furnishing landscape. And we like to be disruptors within IKEA. And the vision of IKEA, our long-term vision, is to create a better everyday life for the many people. Now, and if I'm really honest, when I first started in this company, I have a background in teaching, mainly children with special needs. I felt a little bit like, okay, how does home furnishing contribute to a better everyday life for the many people? Well, it sure does. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. And it's like I said, we want to be so much more than a home furnishing company. And over the years, we have become so much more. The vision is there to stay, and I think I had the privilege to visit many countries within IKEA, and in the end, we are living. It doesn't really matter where you live, actually. We found out that we all have the same basic needs, and we want to be leaders in life at home. And if your home is a pleasant place, if your home is safe, if your home is warm and comfortable, then that definitely contributes to the everyday life. So we do that through home furnishings. And over the years, we started to do that in many, many more ways. Now, I always tell people that people choose IKEA for what we stand for. And that goes for any brand. I think we can spend our money anywhere nowadays, right? And I think consumers and customers have become quite critical over the years. That okay, what is it that this company stands for? What is it that IKEA stands for? And of course, we stand for home furnishing, but we want to be known as quite a colorful brand. So I like this picture. It's in the hallway. In the back of house areas in Slovenia. And I think it is brands have becoming bolder and bolder. We have become more and more bold. And I'll give you an example of, I used to live in London for many years, and my parents were visiting me quite regular, and they flew with a low-cost airline from a regional airport. And at some point, they stopped using that airline, and my mom texted her flight details with me, and suddenly she was flying with KLM, and I was like, okay, why do you go to that big airport? Why do you go through that? They were in their late 70s. It's quite a hassle. And the response of my mother was like, I don't want to fly with that airline anymore because they don't treat their staff right. And I think for me, it was, as head of HR, it was quite an eye-opener that it is not only younger generations now who care where they spend their money. Price is a driver, quality is, but also what is it that you do when it comes to sustainability? What is it that you do for human rights? How do you treat your staff? And this has become more and more important for brands. I think these are important elements, how you build a brand. And this is also a massive risk, how to break down a brand. Now, I'm sure that many of you here in the audience are familiar with the Edelman Trust Barometer. And I think we see a growing trend here. We see that 58% will buy or advocate for brands based on their beliefs and values. And IKEA is a value-driven company. We are purpose-led. We have very strong values. We have a very strong very strong idea how we see leadership, how we want to treat each other, how we want the customers to shop with us, how we want the customers to feel with us. And so we definitely recognize this. And I think these numbers will only go up over the coming years. So, what do we want people to say about IKEA Southeast Europe? And this is where I come back to that it is so much more than only home furnishing, because we want IKEA to empowers me to have a better life by offering endless possibilities. And when we say better life, it is at home, at work, and at the local and bigger community. Because let's face it, I don't have to be here today. Neither do you. I'm here, and I'm here at IKEA in Belgrade because I want to be, because I feel empowered, and because my job is contributing to a better life. And I think we're all fishing in the same pond. We're all looking for talent, right? And we see that, of course, pay is a major driver, but feeling included, feeling recognized, feeling seen as a talent is definitely contributing to having a better life. It better be good, where you spend 9 to 10 hours a day sometimes. And I think in the current employment market, where we're all looking for talents in the same way, we know that where people feel empowered, that contributes to a better life. And if we take, so what does that mean for my job? And my job is in that sense very simple. I need to make people, and then in my job, these are our co-workers, realize that there's a correlation between better work, between better home, better work, and better life. We do that, like I said, through our home furnishing, but then the home part really becomes to, okay, what do we do every day to become an employer of choice? What do we do? And that is not only the paycheck, that's so much more. It is the leadership. It is the health and well-being offer. It is what are we doing? It is even the food in the co-worker restaurant. It all connects to having a better work-life balance. And I think the whole ED&I topic has become crucial for us. I think it's the moment people don't feel included, they check out. We're all focusing on, I think, the same KPIs within the work of field of HR. We're all looking at staff turnover, and we see that the drivers of turnover are, of course, driven by pay, but they're mainly driven by leadership. And leadership is that, and we believe within IKEA, everybody is a leader, whether you lead yourself, whether you lead others, or you lead leaders. If the leadership is right, if your leader recognizes you as a talent, if the leader recognizes you for who you are, you're far more likely to stay than to go to another company. Now, so we have a business plan, of course, like we all do. And a while ago, and I hope this slide looks better on your screen than it does on mine, we put people at the heart of everything we do. This is about 2 years old, I think, this business plan now. And I put a strike through the word will, because I think by now we are doing that. It is one of the biggest threats of our growth agenda. The retail landscape has changed. Retail has been highly affected by disruptions in the supply chain. We all face shortages of raw materials. We face shortages of building materials to build new stores, truck drivers, containers, etc. But the massive, probably the biggest and the most difficult challenge that we see is the lack of talent. And I think by putting people at the heart of everything we do, we started to see a movement, because those other disruptors that I mentioned, those we can influence. IKEA owns part of the supply chain, so okay, those are relatively easy to fix. But the fight over talent is a far more complicated one, because that's everybody's responsibility. IKEA employs worldwide over 200,000 people. So massive opportunities for people to grow. And in the end, it's all about attraction and retention of talent. And we're doing that by putting equality, inclusion, and humanism at the heart of sustainable growth. How? With a very ambitious agenda, I would say, where we started to become much bolder over the years than we were in the past. So when we talk about diversity, we talk about that we would like to have our teams as diverse as possible. We're living in an era where our politicians focus on the differences. We see we're living in a period where there's a lot of negativity. And I think by building truly diverse teams, you become a better person. You learn, you grow. And by identifying everybody's talents, you actually realize that you perform better, you have more fun at work. So we're really looking that our teams are diverse as possible. We're a value-driven company. Equality is a fundamental human right, not only within IKEA, but we are an advocate for equality. We're a humanistic company. We believe that every individual deserves fair treatment. And then we know that a diverse and inclusive workplace is key to our company's ability to attract and retain talent. When coworkers are recognized, valued, their contribution and loyalty increase. And if their coworker is happy, we have happy customers. So it's in that sense, it is no rocket science. So where do we want to be in the end? We focus on 3 areas here. Of course, we focus on our coworkers when it comes to our equality plan. We believe that, like I said, a diverse and inclusive workforce, everybody benefits there. But it's also important for our customer base. We are in over 50 markets, and it's important that our customers recognize themselves in our coworker base. Second priority is around our business. We believe that through the entire coworker journey, from the start, from the recruitment, that everybody's got the same opportunities, that everybody's got a fair chance. And the same through our customer meeting points, that all customers, no matter who they are, no matter what skin color, no matter what religious expressions they bring or wear within our stores, they get the same treatment. And are we perfect? No, we're not. I think we had quite a bumpy road here when it comes to when it comes to the second priority. Black Lives Matters movement was an eye-opener for us as an organization, where we saw, okay, we have a lot of diversity on the shop floor, but actually, if you look at management, it was lacking diversity. So we're far from perfect there. I don't want people to walk away with like, okay, this is all praise and glory. But one of the key things that we have learned is by making this a priority, you create a movement. We've come a very long way in our gender balance. I can truly say that we have a very healthy gender balance, and we have a way to go when it comes to other elements of diversity, especially in management layers. And I think in the past, it was very much driven sometimes a little bit by fear. You're not using the right words, not using the right terminology. Will we upset people, etc.? And we have learned that, okay, you shouldn't be afraid to bring these topics to the table and talk with the community instead of about the community. And then the third part is about the society, where we play a role in creating societal change and creating a more equal world. And we do that partly through the IKEA Foundation, which are more looking at like in the regions where there is conflict. We're very present in Ukraine. We're very present in Jordan, for example, in refugee camps, but also more local, closer to home, closer to where our units are based. All our stores they have projects connected to the local community. Now, I want to share with you a video. So I'm going to ask the moderator now to switch to a video where you see a little bit of what we've been doing so far. if you go back to the PowerPoint, please. We have based our whole ED&I plan on 4 pillars. Gender equality, it is about the LGBT agenda, and it is about the employability program that we're doing for refugees. And in the coming years, we're going to focus on equality for people with a disability. Now, and I want to highlight a couple of more things. So there have been a question about, okay, can you share some figures with us? This is gives you an idea on the journey that we are on. We're seeing constant growth there, how people feel included within the organization, and whether they can be themselves or not. And this is something that those numbers are, for our region, very, very high if you compare that to an external benchmark. You hear us talking a lot about for the many and by the many, but I want you to think about 2 more things before I wrap up, because I see Peter coming back. For the many, by the many. But I want you to think about, when was the last time you bought a new mattress or you bought a new kitchen? And if you want to buy the right mattress, you need to answer some questions. Now, here you see a smiley Asian couple at our bedroom department. But can you imagine what it would be like if this was a same-sex couple? You need to walk here in Belgrade into a store, and you need to answer questions. How do you sleep? Do you spoon? Do you use single duvets, a double duvet? And I think it's so important that we educate people, that we give people bias trainings, that no matter who you are, you feel welcome. Okay, and that's why it is good for your business. That's why it is important that those customers who are after buying products, because we want them to buy the right product. You can only buy the right product if we know about your life at home situation. So in that sense, I think by educating people, by training people, by celebrating things like IDAHOT, and we're talking about race equality, everybody gets the same treatment. And then when it comes to our co-workers, we say working at IKEA is so much more than a job. Home can be a dark place. We talk a lot about life at home. And home can be, for many people, not a happy place. And then work is. I know many, many co-workers who are, for example, part of the LGBT community, who are out at work because IKEA is safe and not out at home. Where we see in Western Europe, it's the other way around. So in that sense, I think it is not only the right thing to do because it matches our values, because it is what we stand for. It's also good for business. It's also good for your co-workers, and it's good for your customer base. So this is my last part. We're far from perfect within IKEA, but I'm very, very proud of what we have done so far. And to end with Ingvar, to end with a little booklet that he wrote in the early 70s, and it's still very, very relevant. It's called The Testament of a Furniture Dealer. We will move ahead only by constantly asking ourselves how what we are doing today can be done better tomorrow. And that is something that I would like to, you guys out there walk away with. What can you do better tomorrow? Will have an impact on your customer base, on your coworker base. Because in the end, I think it is our responsibility as employers to make this world a little bit kinder, a little bit of a better and more inclusive place. That was it from my side, Peter. I know you've been trying to get attention, right?
No, I don't know. I mean, I'm just being here. I'm sure you saw me. We're running a little bit later. That's okay. But what you just said there, in terms of certainly at home, it can be home is meant to be that kind of comfort place. It's meant to be the place where we feel most relaxed. But unfortunately, that's not always the case. So creating an open, broad, welcoming, free space at work, that's such a great thing to do. So many people don't always have that. Some people are very, again, you think about the pandemic, some people are quite lonely at home. They don't have the things they could have, but when they come to work, they have connection, they have that social aspect, and also the awareness of other people as well. So many things you said there that's certainly so relevant. Listen, now it just so happens now all the questions come right at the end. Unfortunately, we can't answer those right now. But hey, those of you that have sent an insight, and I'm sure you can connect up with Otto and over LinkedIn and take those conversations forward. But in the meantime, thank you so much for your insights, for those wise words, but naturally also for your time. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I will answer the questions in the chat.
Fantastic.
Good. Thank you.